The absorption of the miraculous ascertainment of peace. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, thus did I hear at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling at Rajagra, on Vulture's Peak, with a great Sangha of 1,250 monks, as well as Bodhisattvas equal in number to the atoms found in 100 million Buddha realms. Included among them were Bodhisattvas Manjushri, Kamarubhuta, Avalokitesvara, Vaisayaraja, Genuine Medicine, Famous and Melodious King of Medicine, Padmapani, Suryaprabha, Stainless Subjugator, and Conqueror of the lower realms. There were also Bodhisattvas Wise Superior Wisdom, Wise Superior Wealth, Wise Communicator, Wise Superior Flower, Wise Superior Moon, Wise Superior Purity, Wise Superior Vajra, Wise Superior Clarity, and Wise Superior Illuminator. There were also the Bodhisattvas Victory Banner of the Stars, Jeweled Victory Banner of Mount Meru, Desireless Victory Banner, Flower Victory Banner, Stainless Victory Banner of the Sun, Victory Banner of Beauty, Immaculate Victory Banner, and Illuminating Victory Banner. There were also the Bodhisattvas Splendor of the Earth, Splendor of Jewels, Splendor of Great Intelligence, Splendor of Vajra Wisdom, Splendor of Purity, Splendor of the Sun, Splendor of Immense Merit, Splendor of Wisdom Light, and Splendor of Unmatched Majesty. There were also the Bodhisattvas Siddhigarbha, Akasagarbha, Ratnagarbha, Padmagarbha, Suryagarbha, Gunavisuddhigarbha, Dharma Mudra Garbha, Vairokanad-garbha, Nabhi-garbha, and Padmasri Garbha. There were also the Bodhisattvas Sun Eyes, Pure and Stainless Eyes, Purified Eyes, Desireless Eyes, All-Seeing Eyes, Sharp Eyes, Vajra Eyes, Jewel Eyes, Sky Eyes, and Omnipresent Eyes. There were also the Bodhisattvas Divine Crown, Crown of the Jewel that illuminates the realm of phenomena, Crown of the Seat of Enlightenment, Illuminating Crown, Crown of the Womb from which all Buddhas are born, Crown nobler than the cosmos, Ever Noble Crown, Utterly Illuminating Crown, Crown that is never outshone, Crown that captures the thus gone one's lion throne of the essence of all phenomena, and crown that fully illuminates the space of the realm of phenomena. There were also the Bodhisattvas Crown Ornament of the Lord of the Brahma realm, Crown Ornament of the Naga Lord, Crown Ornament that illuminates all the Buddha's emanations, Crown Ornament of the Seat of Enlightenment, Crown Ornament of the King of Jewels that sings an ocean of aspirations, Crown Ornament of the Melodious One in all the three times, Crown Ornament of the precious King of Jewels that is adorned with a web of gems and placed on the Victory Banner that illuminates the emanations of all thus come ones. Crown Ornament of the melodious Dharma Wheel of all thus gone ones. Crown Ornament of the brilliant gem that projects the halo of all thus gone ones. And Crown Ornament adorned by the gem that perceives the indivisibility of all of space. There were also the Bodhisattvas Great Light, Stainless Light, Jeweled Light, Immaculate Light, Shining Light, Dharma Light, Peaceful Light, Suryaprabha, Emanated Light, Divine Light, and Meritorious Light. There were also the Bodhisattvas Crest of Merit, Crest of Wisdom, Crest of Dharma, Crest of Superknowledge, Crest of Light, Crest of Flowers, Crest of Jewels, Crest of Buddhas, Crest of Brahma, and Crest of Illumination. There were also the Bodhisattvas Song of Brahma, Song of the Earth, Song of the Ocean, Song of the Lord of the World, Song offering the Royal Lord of Mountains, Song that pervades the entire realm of phenomena, Song that sounds the ocean of Dharma, Song that stirs all the oceans, Song of greatly compassionate thunder, and Song that relieves all the suffering of beings. There were also the Bodhisattvas, noble Dharma, especially noble, noble wisdom, noble merit like Mount Meru, noble merit and qualities, noble fame, noble illumination, noble great love, noble source of wisdom, and noble lineage of the thus gone ones. There were also the Bodhisattvas shining splendor, supreme splendor, noble splendor, illuminating splendor, moonlight splendor, assembled splendor, space-like splendor, jewel splendor, highest splendor, and wisdom splendor. There were also the Bodhisattvas, lordly king of the Sal tree, lordly king of beings, lordly king of the Brahma realm, lordly king of the hills, lordly king of stillness, lordly king of the leaders, and lordly king of the great minds. There were also the Bodhisattvas, roar of peace, roar of non-attachment, roar of the earth tune, roar of the ocean thunder, roar invoked by previous aspirations, and roar of the rumbling oceans. There were also the Bodhisattvas, mind of immense wisdom, mind of space, mind of purity, mind of non-attachment, mind of purification, mind illuminating the 3 times, mind of immense power, mind like gems, spacious mind, all-seeing mind, and mind illuminating bodhisattva great beings in the ways of the realm of phenomena. All these bodhisattva great beings, as well as many others equal in number to the atoms found in 100 million Buddha realms, were non-regressing beings who possessed qualities as limitless as the expanse of the sky. They could abide in the sameness of the unobscured realm of phenomena and had realized the sameness of the limit of reality and the realm of phenomena. They had conviction in the way in which actions lead to ripening and the way in which results appear based on causes, and they had knowledge of the sameness in which all phenomena are like the emergence of a stamped image. They had realized the sameness in which phenomena appear like optical illusions and reflections. They had complete knowledge of sound and language and understood that all phenomena are like echoes. All of them had attained the absorption of inconceivable liberation and the absorption of the heroic stride. They had the limitless colors of a Buddha's body and were established in the dharani that accomplishes the entirely perfect state. They were skilled in causing all the Buddha realms to be seen in the space of a single hair's breadth. In the space of a single hair's breadth, they could show a Buddha's passing away, taking birth, departing from home, practicing austerities, journeying to the seat of enlightenment, awakening, turning the wheel of the Dharma, and passing into nirvana. They possessed a wisdom that expanded to pervade the world systems in the 10 directions while they remained in one position. They possess the wisdom that can cause the ornaments of all universes to be seen in a single universe, as well as the wisdom that can cause the ornaments of a single universe to be seen in all universes. They were able to cause the entourage of all thus gone ones in all the world systems in the 10 directions to be seen within the entourage of a single thus gone one, and they were also able to cause the entourage of a single thus gone one to be seen in the entourages of all thus gone ones. They were skilled in showing how all phenomena are without center or periphery. They had reached the end of all limitless phenomena. They demonstrated the lack of center and periphery to be like an illusory web. They caused the lack of any distinctions between sentient beings to be seen throughout limitless aeons. They were skilled in considering the bodies of all beings to be empowered as their own bodies. They were skilled in considering the bodies of all Buddhas to be a single Buddha body. They were skilled in causing other beings to see how the body of a single Buddha pervades the bodies of all Buddhas without exception. They were skilled in causing all world systems in the 10 directions to be seen within their own bodies. They were able to cause beings to see that the single Dharma body pervades the 3 times. Resting evenly in absorption within a single body, they were able to cause beings to see the act of manifesting limitless bodies. Having awakened with one body, they were able to cause as many bodies as there are beings to be seen. They were able to cause the bodies of all beings to be seen within the body of a single being, and they were also able to cause the body of a single being to be seen in the bodies of all beings. They were able to cause the bodies of beings to be seen as the Dharma body, and they were also able to cause the Dharma body to be seen as the bodies of beings. They were skilled in empowering the aspirations of all bodhisattvas as their own aspirations. They were able to cause bodhisattvas to see the full awakening of all the Buddhas, as well as their aspirations, powers, and full awakening. They were able to cause fully mature beings to see their unsurpassed and perfect awakening in whatever way is necessary to train them. Their aspirations were uninterrupted throughout all aeons. With their mastery in leaving the body of the consciousness and entering the wisdom body, they could appear to all the multitudes of beings. Having broken the continuity of their own bodies, they appeared for the complete fulfillment of the aspirations of other multitudes of beings. They endeavored in aspirations that ripen beings. As their bodhisattva conduct was uninterrupted throughout all the ages of a single world, the strength of their aspirations directed toward full awakening enabled them to cause indescribably many worlds encompassing all the Buddha realms to be seen within the space of a single hair's breadth. They were able to cause numerous bodies to be seen within a single world. By uttering a single word of the Dharma, they would bring down a rain of ambrosia born from the great clouds of Dharma that filled the entire realm of phenomena. Through the lightning of intelligence and liberation and the thunder of true reality, they manifested to satisfy all the different kinds of beings and fulfill their great aspirations. The field of their experience was to be engaged in concentration, freedom, superknowledge, intelligence, and wisdom. Through one instance of arousing the mind of awakening, they were able to manifest bodies of all beings born in all possible ways in all the infinite world systems in the 10 directions. Since they had no attachment to knowledge of their own or others' minds, they were proficient in the knowledge of the processes and movements present in a single being's mind as well as in all beings' minds. They were skilled in the wisdom that can engage the 10 powers of the thus gone ones in a single instant. They were immersed in the wisdom that is not attached to anything whatsoever throughout the 3 times. They were skilled in the wisdom that brings genuine attainment to the mind streams of others. They were skilled in causing, with a single moment of mind, all beings throughout the infinite expanse of world systems in the 10 directions to see complete awakening in a single moment of their minds. They were skilled in the wisdom capable of using the perception of a single being to engage directly with the karmic actions of all beings without exception. They were skilled in the wisdom that teaches using the languages of all beings through the language of a single being. They were skilled in causing the perceptions of a single body to be seen as the perception of the bodies of all beings. While immersed in the circle of attendance of a single thus gone one, every one of them was skilled in upholding the teaching of the Dharma within the circle of attendance of all thus gone ones. They had achieved every dharani. They were skilled in teaching with utterly confident eloquence while understanding the faculties of beings of all dispositions. They were skilled in the wisdom that, by observing the mind of a single being, can awaken the inexpressible number of mind streams to Buddhahood, and thereby engage with the minds of all beings. They were skilled in the wisdom that instantaneously understands all world systems, knows all the various thoughts of beings, and brings genuine attainment to the mind streams of others. By recollecting the inconceivably numerous mind states of all the limitless existences throughout the countless aeons of the past, they were skilled in revealing directly to beings how actions and activities ripen into results, and in helping them to understand that they were skilled in ornamenting all world systems. They were skilled in entering into all world systems. They were skilled in engendering the aspirations of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as well as their own conduct and aspirations. They were skilled in shining the light of Dharma. They were skilled in entering into inexpressibly numerous aeons and world systems within a single atom. They were skilled in causing a Buddha realm the size of all universes to be seen within a single atom. They could make all the water in all the oceans fit within a single pore of the skin. They were skilled in going to all the world systems throughout the extent of the realm of phenomena, while doing no harm to beings. They were skilled in absorbing inexpressibly numerous world systems into their own bodies and causing the diverse activities of beings to be seen. They could make the surrounding mountains, the greater surrounding mountains, and the other huge mountains, incalculable, inconceivable, incomparable, immeasurable, limitless, and absolutely inexpressible, fit within a single pore. Thus they were skilled in going to all the world systems throughout the extent of the realm of phenomena, while not frightening beings in any way. They were skilled in transforming inexpressibly numerous aeons into a single aeon, and in displaying one aeon as inexpressibly numerous aeons of destruction and formation. In order to properly train others, they were skilled in causing all beings to see how all world systems will be destroyed by water, fire, and wind. Though they could crush uncountable and inconceivable world systems with their big toes, every one of them was skilled in not bringing harm to beings. They had all gained attainment by means of the cloud of Dharma, and they were skilled in displaying the transformation of great suffering, in the form of harm, injury, and famine, to train beings in all the worlds of the 10 directions. They did not harm other beings. Every one of them had the super-knowledges and could cause the appearance of Buddhas to be seen in world systems where no Buddhas had come. There were also 500 bodhisattvas, such as Bhadrapala, every one of whom had reached the level from which there is no regression. At that same time, too, the Lichavi youth Ratnakara arrived at Vulture Peak from the city of Vaisali, surrounded and venerated by a group of 21,000 Lachevi youths. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One and took their place to his right side. There they stayed, gazing upon him with unblinking eyes. The householder Simaka came from the city of Gaya, surrounded and venerated by a group of 500 laymen, to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. The householder Bhadrapala also came surrounded and venerated by a group of 500 householders to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. The householder Sudatta came surrounded and venerated by a group of 5,000 householders to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. The householder Susarthavaha came with many servants to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. The merchant Subahu came from the city of Kampa, surrounded and venerated by a group of 84,000 merchants to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. The Brahmin youth Naradatta came surrounded and venerated by a group of 500 Brahmin youths to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. The Brahmin youth Nandikandra came attended by 500 Brahmin youths to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. King Ajatasattu of Magadha, son of Vaidehi, riding the king of elephants of Dhanapala, arrived where the Blessed One was residing, along with a retinue of 5,000 beings who surrounded and venerated the king. He rode Dhanapala as far as was fitting and then dismounted from his palanquin. He then ascended Vulture Peak on foot and arrived before the Blessed One. He bowed his head to the feet of the Blessed One and then took his place to one side along with all 5,000 beings in his retinue. They all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. The merchant Sarashtra came from the city of Vrasani, surrounded and venerated by a group of 500 merchants, to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They bowed their heads to the feet of the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. Sakra, who is Lord of Gods, Brahma, who is Lord of the Saha world, the four guardians of the world, the god Mahasvara, the god Kandra, the god Suvikrantamati, the god Sulaksana, and an inconceivable, incomparable, immeasurable, unfathomable, and limitless number of other gods, each with billions of their own divine attendants, came to the place where the Blessed One was residing. They each made an inconceivable number of suitable offerings to the Blessed One. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. At that time, from every pore of the Blessed One's skin, and from each of his excellent signs and all his marks, the Blessed One emitted rays of light as numerous as all the atoms in 10 Buddha realms. Each light ray bathed in a bright light as many world systems as there are atoms in 100 million Buddha realms. The light caused countless quadrillions of bodhisattvas to arrive from each of these world systems. Each of the bodhisattvas had a jewel mansion, measuring billions of leagues and adorned with gems, pearls, and jewel tassels around a bejeweled platform. Sitting below hoisted flags and banners and surrounded by uncountable quadrillions of divine maidens, they arrived at the place where the Blessed One was residing, scattering clouds of divine flowers, clouds of jewels, clouds of garments, clouds of sandalwood and agarwood incense, and clouds of divine instruments, cymbals, and song, clouds as large as world systems. Then, taking their place to one side, they all gazed upon the Blessed One with unblinking eyes. Throughout the great trichilocosm there was no space, not even as much as a fraction of a single hair tip, that was not filled with gods, nagas, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kinnaras, magaragas, sakra, brahma, world guardians, humans, non-humans, or vast numbers of bodhisattvas. It was then that the bodhisattva Bhadrapala stood up, draped his upper robe over one shoulder, and knelt on his right knee. With his palms together, he bowed toward the Blessed One and made the following request. May I ask if the Blessed One might give me the opportunity to seek instruction? If so, there are a few points on which, blessed, thus gone, worthy, perfect Buddha, I would request your clarification. The Blessed One replied to the Bodhisattva Bhadrapala, Bhadrapala, you may ask whatever you please. I will delight your mind by answering your question. So Bhadrapala asked the Blessed One, Blessed One, what are the basis, conduct, manner, distinction, roots of virtue, diligence, peace, skill, and wisdom, mindfulness, realization, intelligence, propriety, interest, and armor by which the Bodhisattva, great beings, may make irreversible progress toward unsurpassed and perfect awakening, and from that unsurpassed and perfect awakening know no debasement or decline? How do bodhisattva great beings come into being due to the actions of the thus gone ones? How do they train diligently in the wisdom of the thus gone ones? How does their insight increase? How are they skilled in great wisdom? How is their discipline so pure? How is it that, in not forgetting what they have heard, they possess recollection? How is it that, in taking birth in accordance with the roots of virtue, they remember their past lives? How is it that they are skilled in knowing the previous lifetimes of others and inspiring them? How is it that they are wise by being knowledgeable about differences in faculties? How do they possess the marks? How is it that they are never separate from seeing the Buddha, hearing the Dharma, or honoring the Sangha? How is it that they behold the blessed Buddhas present in other world systems? How is it that they are able to hear the Dharma of those blessed ones in all the infinite world systems, and then retain it, master it, and teach it truly on a vast scale? How is it that they are like tongues of flame in burning the roots of non-virtue? How is it that they are like the moon in mastering all bright phenomena? How is it that they are like the sun in dispelling all the darkness of ignorance? How have they become so elevated by all the roots of virtue that they are like the king of mountains? How is it that they are like Vajras in having unshakable acceptance of the profound? How are they fearless in being like the highest mountain? How is it that their voices are incredibly pure by having unimpeded eloquence? How is it that they are exceedingly learned by being proficient in discerning and ascertaining all the different languages? How is it that they do not scowl but keep their countenance smiling and radiant? How is it that they are not contaminated by worldly phenomena? How is it that their voices can be heard across limitless world systems? How is it that when they show the limitless endless world systems inside a single pore, beings do not understand where we are and do not understand what was done? How is it that by ripening beings they stay within the retinues of all thus gone ones throughout the 10 directions and never move from those places? How is it that they live in the heaven of joy, pass away, enter the womb, take birth, leave home, undertake austerities, sit at the seat of awakening, gain victory over demons, turn the wheel of Dharma, demonstrate passing into the great transcendence of suffering, and demonstrate teachings so that all the teachings remain, all within the space of a single hair's breadth? How is it that they can become aware of the mental activity of all beings in a single moment of mind? The Blessed One answered the Bodhisattva Bhadrapala. Bhadrapala, excellent, excellent. Bhadrapala, you have asked in this manner to benefit many beings and to bring them happiness. You have great compassion that loves the world and seeks to benefit ordinary beings, gods and humans alike, by accomplishing their welfare and happiness. Bhadrapala, your intention in having asked the Blessed One such a question is excellent. Therefore, Bhadrapala, I will answer you, so listen well and keep what I say in mind. Excellent, the Bodhisattva Bhadrapala replied to the Blessed One and listened in the manner that the Blessed One had instructed. The Blessed One said, Bhadrapala, there is a Bodhisattva activity that is the absorption, that the Buddha calls the miraculous ascertainment of peace. Bodhisattva great beings who dwell in that absorption attain, in addition to many others, the following special qualities. So, Bhadrapala, what is this absorption called the miraculous ascertainment of peace? It is like this. It is to understand that all phenomena, in accordance with their actual nature, comprehend their characteristics and overcome mistaken characteristics. It is to no longer hold on to the habitual basis of a self. It is to no longer comprehend an other. It is to not think highly of one's own life. It is to not enter samsara. It is to understand all entities. It is to meditate on tranquility and to actualize special insight. It is to be stable-minded and undistracted in mindfulness and to pacify notions and judgments. It is to keep company with virtue and to discard non-virtue. It is to pacify attachment, aversion, and dullness, to dispense with ignorance, and to rely on knowing. It is to understand causation, to demolish a view, and to be free from consciousness. It is to arouse wisdom, to exhaust existence, to abandon attachment to joyful states, to be certain about Buddhahood, and to have no doubt about the Dharma. It is to not be skeptical about the Sangha and to reconcile disputes arising from divisive speech. It is to adhere to solitude, to be adept in integrating the teachings, to not speak foolishly behind someone's back, and to be without worldly goods. It is to abandon what is naturally wrong and to not commit any negative actions, now or in the future. It is to not hoard things, and to have no fascination with worldly wonders. It is to see what is wrong with samsara and what is beneficial in nirvana. It is to wish for the sphere of the transcendence of suffering with strong intent. It is to be without deceit, dishonesty, and pretense. It is to avoid hypocrisy, fraud, hustling, expropriation, and disrespect. It is to practice diligence and to be very patient. It is to not be lazy and to abandon obscurations. It is to be endowed with the path of the 10 virtues and to have a faultless aggregate of discipline. It is to never depart from the aggregate of absorption. It is to never remain in the absorptions or the equipoises. It is to be insatiable in bringing the perfections to completion. It is to create emanations through concentration, freedom, absorption, and equipoise. It is to be free to play as one likes due to the bases of miraculous power. It is to master omniscient wisdom. It is to not be of two minds, neither nor to be inanimate or deaf or dumb. It is to not be led into any other path. It is to abandon everything that torments the mind. It is to attain the level of holy beings, to not consider unwholesome beings, and to disregard the spiritually immature. It is to associate with the learned. It is to arouse the strength of mindfulness. It is to arouse the strength of wisdom. It is to have no need to seek clarification from householders or renunciants. It is to remain in solitude. It is to have patience with regard to emptiness, the absence of marks, the absence of wishes, and all phenomena. It is to understand all things as they are. This Bhadrapala is the absorption called the miraculous ascertainment of peace. Since bodhisattvas who train in this absorption are unobscured regarding all phenomena, they become knowledgeable. Furthermore, Bhadrapala, this so-called absorption of the miraculous ascertainment of peace is as follows. It is to know all phenomena to be sameness. It is to know all words to be constructions. It is to abandon all household goods. It is to find no delight in the 3 realms. It is to not be discouraged. It is to not cling to any phenomenon. It is to uphold the sacred Dharma. It is to guard the Dharma. It is to have conviction in the ripening of actions. It is to be expert in training others. It is to pacify debate and to not engage in fighting. It is to not get involved in disputes. It is to uphold patience authentically and to uphold realization authentically. It is to be expert in distinguishing realization, sameness, and reality. It is to be expert in ascertaining the Dharma. It is to be expert in expressions of the Dharma. It is to know how to distinguish expressions of the Dharma. It is to know the past, the future, and the present. It is to know the 3 times to be sameness. It is to know the utter purity of the 3 spheres. It is to know the basis of the body and the basis of the mind. It is to know how to guard one's mode of conduct. It is to purify one's actions. It is to transcend obscurations. It is to thoroughly know the aggregates. It is to know the sameness of the elements. It is to dispel the sense sources. It is to discard existence. It is to endeavor in the task of accepting non-arising. It is to point out causes and to not dismiss actions and results. It is to see the Dharma and cultivate the path. It is to meet with the thus gone ones. It is to have sharp insight. It is to know how to distinguish words. It is to understand speech. It is to attain supreme delight. It is to experience the joy of the Dharma. It is to be mindful, gentle, blissful, unperturbed, good-natured, and easy to get along with. It is to speak truthfully with gentle words and to say, "Come here, welcome." It is to not be lazy. It is to be respectful of and honor spiritual masters. It is to not delight in birth. It is to be insatiable regarding virtuous qualities. It is to have a pure livelihood. It is to not renounce remote places. It is to settle in a place. It is to not squander mindfulness. It is to be expert in the aggregates, elements, and sense sources. It is to engage in manifesting superknowledge. It is to eliminate disturbing emotions. It is to defeat the binding force of habit. It is to have specific attainments and the natural results of meditation. It is to be expert in rescuing from the downfalls. It is to remove all that binds. It is to discard latent tendencies. It is to utterly transcend existence. It is to recall past lives. It is to have no doubt about the ripening of actions. It is to contemplate karma. It is to not mentally rely on birth. It is to not create karmic actions. It is to be without mental activity of the inner sense sources. It is to not move out toward the outer sense sources. It is to not praise oneself or belittle others. It is to not cling to what is unpleasant. It is to not mentally rely on ordinary beings. It is to be in accord with the cause of ethical conduct. It is to be one who is rarely encountered. It is to be absolutely resplendent. It is to know oneself. It is to be uncorrupted. It is to observe perfect behavior. It is to have no malice. It is not to use foul words. It is to not harm others, to protect close ones, and to be naturally non-violent. It is to not harm beings. It is to be gentle in speech. It is to not abide in the three realms. It is to be able to keep secrets. It is to have acceptance in accord with the emptiness of all phenomena. It is to be greatly inspired toward omniscient wisdom. It is to have clear wisdom, to have stable discipline, and to be engaged in equipoise. It is to be happy to be alone. It is to not be content with knowing just a little bit. It is to not be discouraged. It is to abandon all that constitutes a view. It is to achieve dharani and wisdom. It is to be meticulous about what is correct and what is incorrect. It is to have an approach based on reason and logic. It is to offer counsel. It is to be appropriately forbearing of conduct. It is to have reached the level of acceptance. It is not to be unforbearing. It is to be on the level of wisdom. It is to abandon ignorance. It is to abide in wisdom. It is to be on the level of yogic conduct. It is to have the sphere of activity of bodhisattvas. It is to understand the essence of all phenomena and know the highest realization. It is to comprehend the mind. It is to not reincarnate into a new birth. It is to know not to reincarnate. It is to lay down the burden. It is to have the wisdom of the thus gone ones. It is to abandon attachment, to be free from anger, and to abandon dullness. It is to be diligent in practice. It is to be free from unreasonableness. It is to be inspired toward virtuous phenomena. It is to put into practice the higher intention. It is to not sleep the night away. It is to not give up on abandonment. It is to nurture virtuous qualities. It is to have previously cultivated the roots of virtue. It is to know skill and means. It is to abandon marks. It is to abstain from perception. It is to be accomplished in the discourses. It is to be expert in the vijnana. It is to be certain about the truths. It is to endeavor in the actualization of liberation. It is to delight in words and speak with a smile. It is to see wisdom as it is. It is to seek out learning. It is never to be satisfied with one's wisdom. It is to have an utterly pure mind, an utterly pure body, and utterly pure speech. It is to be trustworthy in speech. It is to rely on emptiness. It is to rely on the absence of marks. It is to know non-conceptually due to the nature of the absence of wishes. It is to attain fearlessness. It is not to abuse those who suffer and to give them wealth. It is to not be contemptuous of the poor. It is to care compassionately for those whose discipline is corrupted. It is to be in possession of beneficial goods. It is to be of benefit through the Dharma. It is to give up material things. It is to rely unwaveringly on those with discipline. It is to let go of all possessions. It is to make offerings with a higher intention. It is to practice what one preaches. It is to continuously endeavor. It is to take delight in being respectful. It is to understand metaphors. It is to be knowledgeable about what has occurred in the past. It is to know the application of names and terminology. It is to have destroyed imputation. It is to not get overjoyed when being honored and to remain equanimous when being dishonored. It is to not be interested in gain or disheartened by loss. It is to have no desire for fame. And it is not to be angry when infamy befalls oneself. It is not to hanker after praise or be defeated by blame. It is to not be desirous of pleasure or saddened by pain. It is to not grasp after formations. It is to not desire a proper commendation and to be accepting of false accusations. It is to endeavor in one's rightful domain and reject everything else. It is to be content. It is to abandon what is inappropriate. It is not to downplay being's meager roots of virtue. It is to uphold the teaching. It is to be concise and gentle in speech. It is to be skilled in appropriate statements. It is to defeat opponents. It is to come in time. It is to have conduct that is natural. It is to have conduct that is beautiful. It is to be skilled in knowing what is meaningful and what is not. It is to know the world. It is to understand the treatises. It is to speak clearly. It is to give freely. It is to control the mind. It is to have shame and conscience. It is to denigrate non-virtuous mind states. It is to not give up the qualities of an ascetic. It is to properly uphold one's conduct. It is to move gracefully. It is to rise for the master and prepare him a seat. It is to destroy pride. It is to properly maintain the mind. It is to understand the meaning. It is to have brought forth wisdom. It is to be without ignorance. It is to know how to engage the mind. It is to understand and know the nature of mind. It is to possess the wisdom that is knowledgeable about all attainments, regardless of whether one has practiced them or not. It is to know the languages of all beings. It is to know how to establish etymologies and to know how to determine the meanings of words. It is to exclude what is not the real meaning. It is to accomplish all forms of concentration without savoring their experience. It is to see and consider the minds of each and every being. It is to know the superior and inferior faculties of beings. It is to see what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. It is to discern all karmic actions. It is to know how to engage without karmic action and ripening. It is to engage in manifold aspirations. It is to not be forgetful. It is to have direct experience of the manifold and various realms. It is to see the Vajra-like absorption. It is to revel in absorption with a voice like Brahma's. It is to know all states of absorption and equipoise to be the same and nameless. It is to remember past abodes. It is to see by knowing how to go everywhere. It is to have exhausted defilement. It is to know the simultaneous attainment of abandonment. It is to see with the unimpeded divine eye. It is to enjoy manifesting all forms. It is to know how to engage in form and the formless as sameness. It is to know how to engage in dharanis through the diverse aspects of melodious speech. It is to know all sounds to be like echoes. It is to teach the Dharma according to need. It is to satisfy all beings by providing them with good advice. It is to know how to change faculties. It is to discern whether the time is ripe or not. It is to know how to be in accord with the limit of reality. It is to teach the Dharma that gives results. It is to complete all the perfections. It is to hold all things dear. It is to skillfully know how to defeat. It is to have deportment that is uncontrived. It is to know how to authentically unite with the realm of phenomena without mixing anything up. It is to put an end to thought, conceptualization, and mental constructions. It is to manifest one's body at the feet of all thus gone ones in an instant. It is to emanate bodies like optical illusions in all world systems. It is to uphold and never forget any of the Dharma teachings of all the thus gone ones. It is to never slide back from the great vehicle. It is to be skilled in teaching emancipation according to each vehicle. It is to authentically uphold the lineage of the three jewels. It is to show actions appropriate to each and every birthplace. It is to never grow discouraged, even though one has to wear the armor for millions of aeons until the end of time. It is to skillfully know how to ripen all beings. It is to know how to accomplish all aspects of melodious speech. It is to know how to make one aeon last for limitless aeons. It is to know the ground of manifestation within all phenomena. It is to know how to gather all Buddha realms together. It is to know how to make limitless aeons pass in one aeon. It is to know how to reveal one universe as all universes. It is to know how to gather all beings' bodies into a single being's body. It is to know how to bring inconceivable Buddha realms into the space of a single hair's breadth. It is to know how to bring innumerable, inconceivable, immeasurable world systems into just a single pore of one's body. It is to understand all Buddha realms to be equivalent to space. It is to know how to fill each and every Buddha realm to the brim with one's own body. It is to skillfully understand and realize how all phenomena are without characteristics. It is to know how to inhabit all bodies. It is to know how to speak precisely in all languages while speaking in one language. It is to realize all the ways to be skilled in means. It is to know how to teach a single word for innumerable, inconceivable, immeasurable millions of aeons. It is to have unceasing eloquence. It is to be discerning in knowing what to accomplish and what to let be. It is to know how to show the distinctions between dyads, parts, and inversions. It is to know how to emit the light of great means and insight. It is to know how to transcend all the paths of Mara. It is to have one's actions of body, speech, and mind preceded by wisdom. It is to fulfill all the realms of beings with the four types of correct understanding. It is to attain miraculous abilities through creating merit. It is to reveal emanations throughout the entire realm of phenomena. It is to understand the utterances of beings in all world systems. It is to gather all beings throughout all the world systems in the 10 directions, together through the 4 ways of attracting disciples. It is to have no doubt about accomplishing qualities which are like illusions. It is to bring to consummation the attainment of power over requisites and over all birth. It is to know how to equally attend to those with corrupted morality and those with pure morality, as recipients of generosity. It is to make the thoughts of all beings adhere to the Dharma. It is to cover all the world systems in the 10 directions with a web of light from a single pore. It is to attain the secrets of all bodhisattvas. It is to know the vast depth of the great ocean. It is to know how to send forth a massive web of light into all the world systems in the 10 directions. It is to have a mind that is equal to earth, water, fire, and wind. It is to know how to enter the level of the thus gone ones. It is to know how to turn the wheel of Dharma in all explanations of words and etymologies, and to know how to attain patience by oneself without being taught. It is to know how to make burst forth from a single pore the mass of water of the oceans in all the world systems in the 10 directions without harming any being with the water. It is to have a jewel-like mind. It is to know how to dispel all the stains of the disturbing emotions. It is to know how to skillfully be content in dedicating the limitless roots of virtue and merit accumulated in the 3 times. It is to find relief by awakening to all the qualities of a Buddha. It is to know how to bring emanations into the mental activity of all beings. It is to know how to engage in the entire experience of Buddhahood. It is to have an unbroken continuity of aspirations and to know how to manifest the conduct that draws beings near. It is to directly know how to see the wisdom of the thus gone ones. It is to know how to engage in the secrets of the thus gone ones. It is to have a mind that is tranquil, being calm and at peace, and to bring delight to all beings in order to properly train others. It is to know how to demonstrate playfulness and enjoyment. It is to be consummate in possessing limitless learning and to never be content or satisfied with all one's learning. It is to not apprehend any phenomena. It is to engage in worldly activity in many different ways. It is to not be corrupted by any worldly phenomena. It is to ripen beings through proper training. It is to show correct behavior to those whose speech is impaired, those whose hearing is impaired, and those who are disabled, dull-minded, deaf, or blind. It is to know how to teach the Dharma and transform countless aeons into the duration of a single finger snap. It is to be followed by innumerable, inconceivable, immeasurable, infinite, and limitless hundreds of thousands of Vajrapanis that outshine Sakra, Brahma, and the guardians of the world. It is to bless the poor and destitute in order to ripen beings. It is to directly know the view of self-arising wisdom, which is the awakening of all Buddhas. It is to show the conduct of all hearers and solitary Buddhas. It is to know how to manifest turning the irreversible wheel of Dharma in all the world systems in the 10 directions. It is to know how to unimpededly teach with a single moment of thought for many as quadrillions of aeons, as there are atoms in innumerable, inconceivable, incomparable, immeasurable, and limitless world systems in order to ripen all beings. It is to show the appearance and conduct of all hearers and solitary Buddhas for aeons. It is to be unceasing in the complete bodhisattva conduct in order to ripen beings. It is to practice all-pervading mental stability. It is to know how, in order to ripen beings, to move among the retinues of all thus gone ones throughout all the limitless world systems, while surrounded by divine maidens, singing songs and playing accompanying instruments, various cymbals and drums, with a chorus numbering in the quadrillions. It is to behold and honor all the thus gone ones without ever leaving one's seat. It is to know how to make offerings unceasingly. It is to seek and abide in unfailing vision and hearing in order to ripen limitless beings. It is to know how, in order to guide ripen beings appropriately, to demonstrate, in one single instant of thought, abiding in the heaven of joy, dying and transmigrating, taking birth, leaving the palace, undergoing austerities, going to the seat of awakening, taming Mara, awakening, turning the wheel of Dharma, passing into the great transcendence of suffering, and letting the sacred Dharma remain from that point on until it declines, and to demonstrate all this as many times as there are atoms in all the world systems in the 10 directions while foregoing the attainment of complete awakening. This, Bhadrapala, is the absorption of the miraculous ascertainment of peace. Bhadrapala, you may wonder what the practice of this absorption is like. Well, Bhadrapala, it is not to grasp at anything, not reject anything, and not engage with anything. It is to pacify all formations. It is to understand all phenomena as they are. It is to engage in the sameness of all phenomena. It is not to not conceptualize, reflect on, or establish any phenomena. It is to not generate or produce anything. It is to eliminate all concepts, thoughts, and reflections. It is to be without mental engagement that involves objectification. It is to eliminate consciousness. It is to eliminate desire, anger, and delusion. It is to be without mental engagement concerned with both the limited and the limitless. It is to eliminate all mental engagement. It is to know the nature of the aggregates, the elements, and the sense sources. It is to be mindful, intelligent, interested, contemplative, and conscientious, as well as to be ardent in observing proper conduct, ritual, and livelihood. It is to be on the level of no disturbing emotions and the level of peace. It is to eliminate all conceptual proliferation. It is to actualize all trainings of the bodhisattvas, the entire domain of the thus gone ones, and all the virtuous qualities. Bhadrapala, such is the practice of this absorption. Bhadrapala, even though bodhisattvas reflect on and analyze the Dharma, they still do not perceive the thus gone one in his Dharma body, let alone observe him in other ways apart from the Dharma body. Bhadrapala bodhisattvas should investigate by thinking, what is meant by thus gone one? Is the thus gone one form, or is the thus gone one something other than form? They should be skilled in such investigations. They should think the thus gone one is not form, but also not other than form. And why? Well, form is inanimate, unmoving, and unable to reason, like hay, bricks, wood, and soil. Form is deceptive like an optical illusion. It is like a mass of foam. What we call form is an aggregation of the four great elements. Form arises dependently. Whatever arises dependently is impermanent. Whatever is impermanent is suffering. Whatever is suffering has no self. Whatever has no self has no intrinsic nature. Whatever has no intrinsic nature has no appearance. Whatever has no appearance is not genuine. Whatever is not genuine is a false and deceptive phenomenon. Whatever is a false and deceptive phenomenon is not true. Whatever is not true is not suchness. Whatever is not suchness is not the thus gone one. The thus gone one is true, genuine, unmistaken suchness, nothing but suchness, non-erroneous suchness, a speaker of unerring truth, a speaker of reality, a speaker of knowledge, one who holds the weapon of wisdom, one who possesses limitless wisdom, an omniscient one, an all-seeing one, one with 10 powers, one who has attained the perfection of the 4 highest types of fearlessness, one without thoughts and concepts, one without stains, one who is equal to the sky, and one who cannot be sized up by calculations. The thus gone one is not made, not born, not ceasing, without engagement, limitless, without abode, without cognition, beyond apprehension, without movement, utterly pure, free from disturbing emotions, not arising, without action, and not abiding. The bodhisattvas should continue to analyze. Form is not the thus gone one, yet neither is the thus gone one other than form. And why? If something that was other than form were the thus gone one, then the sky would also be the thus gone one. And why is that not so? Because the sky does not have form. It cannot be demonstrated. It is unimpeded. It does not cognize. It does not abide. It cannot be grasped. It has no abode, and it has no characteristics. The bodhisattvas should continue to contemplate. Form is not the thus gone one, yet neither is the thus gone one other than form. So perhaps feeling is the thus gone one, or is the thus gone one other than feeling? They should continue thinking. Feeling is not the thus gone one, yet neither is the thus gone one other than feeling. And why? The thus gone one has said, any type of feeling is suffering. All suffering has the marks of concepts. And whatever has the marks of concepts is not the thus gone one. Feeling is like water bubbles. It is trifling. It arises dependently. It arises based on sense contact. Whatever emerges from sense contact is feeling. The thus gone one, however, is not like water bubbles. He is not something trifling, and he is not dependently arisen. The thus gone one is not born from sense contact. He does not arise based on sense contact. The thus gone one does not have feelings that are born from sense contact. And why? Because the thus gone one rests in equipoise within the absorption where all feelings have ceased. He is devoid of feelings. He has gone beyond all feelings. He has purified all torment. He has abandoned all disturbing emotions, harm, and ill will. He is not bound, and he is not liberated. He has not passed into parinirvana, yet he is in the stainless realm of nirvana. The thus gone one is unborn, non-conceptual, invisible, inaudible, odorless, flavorless, and incomprehensible. He has no characteristics, cannot be touched with the senses, and cannot be cognized. As the bodhisattvas analyze in this way, they should think, the thus gone one is not feeling, yet neither is he other than feeling. And why? If something that was other than feeling were the thus gone one, then all grasses, branches, herbs, bushes, and forests would be the thus gone one. And why is that not so? Because all grasses, branches, herbs, bushes, and forests are devoid of feeling. The bodhisattvas should continue to contemplate. If the thus gone one is not feeling, yet also not other than feeling, then is the thus gone one perception, or is he other than perception? They should continue thinking. Perception is not the thus gone one, nor is the thus gone one other than perception. And why? Perception is like an optical illusion. It arises when the eyes, form, light, and mental activity come together. The thus gone one is not perception. He is not like an optical illusion. He does not arise based on a meeting of the eyes, form, light, and mental activity. And why? Because the thus gone one is inconceivable. He is not an object of thought. He has no intention and is free from intention. He has an incomparable mind. He does not engage in going and coming. He does not go. He has eliminated going. He is beyond measure. He is uninterrupted. He has no orifices. He is not substantial. He is not diverse. He is inseparable and authentic. He is not construed. He is beyond dwelling. He is not touchable. The bodhisattvas should continue thinking. Perception is not the thus gone one, but neither is the thus gone one other than perception. If something that is other than perception were the thus gone one, then any piece of wood or clod of earth would also be the thus gone one. And why is that not so? Because wood and earth have no perception. The bodhisattvas should then continue to contemplate. If the thus gone one is not perception, yet also not other than perception, then is the thus gone one perhaps formation, or is he other than formation? They should continue thinking. Formations are not the thus gone one, yet neither is the thus gone one other than formations. And why? Formations are not entities. They are of a false and deceptive nature. They arise from ignorance. Formations are born out of ignorance. The thus gone one is not a non-entity. He is not false. He is not deceptive. Unlike formations, he is not born from ignorance. And why? The thus gone one rests in equipoise within the absorption where ignorance has ceased. Since he has transcended the conceptual absorption of those who experience form as well as the unchanging absorption, he has accomplished the cessation of perception and feeling. The thus gone one is peace, invisible, not apparent, and limitless. He is like the clouds. He is not tranquil, not peaceful, without peace and devoid of peace. He is pure and without disturbing emotions. He is without craving. He is without liking. He does not circle in existence. He is beyond circling in existence. He rests in the manner of not resting. He is not bound. He is beyond birth and transmigration. He does not pass away. He is not a dharma. He is not a dharma. He is not wood. He is also not wood. He does not perish. He also does not perish. He is free from perishing. He is momentary. He is undisturbed. They should then continue thinking. Formations are not the thus gone one, but neither is the thus gone one other than formations. And why? If something that is other than formations were the thus gone one, then the thus gone one would be a non-entity. And why is that not so? Because a non-entity is what is not formations. The bodhisattvas should then continue to contemplate. If the thus gone one is not formations, yet is also not other than formations, then is the thus gone one's perhaps consciousness, or is he other than consciousness? They should continue thinking. Consciousness is not the thus gone one, yet neither is the thus gone one other than consciousness. And why? Consciousness is illusory. It is hollow and inauthentic. It arises based on coming together with formation. It is produced based on coming together with incorrect attention. Thus, the thus gone one is not hollow. He is not something inauthentic. He does not definitively arise from incorrect attention. He is not produced from incorrect attention like consciousness. And why? The thus gone one is free from mentation, conceptual mind, and consciousness. He is without letters, without sound, without objects, without substantiality, and without mind. He is not associated with anything, yet also is not dissociated from anything. He is without intelligence, yet also not without intelligence. He is without realization, yet also not without realization. He does not go, yet he also does not go. He is indivisible. He cannot be divided. He does not pass beyond. He is without characteristics. He is free from characteristics. He is not characterized. He is without mental constructs. He is not a source. He is without attachment. He is free from attachment. He harmonizes. He is distinguished by suchness. He is not thatness, yet neither is he not thatness. They should then continue thinking. Consciousness is not the thus gone one, but neither is the thus gone one other than consciousness. If something that was other than consciousness were the thus gone one, an optical illusion would also be the thus gone one. And why is that not so? Because an optical illusion is not consciousness. The bodhisattvas should then continue to contemplate. The thus gone one is not perceived as being in the past, nor is he from the future, nor is he perceived as being in the present. Since he is not perceived, he is non-conceptual and beyond thought. Being beyond concepts, he does not dwell anywhere separately. Since he does not dwell anywhere separately, he has no extent. Since he has no extent, he is not longed for. Since he is not longed for, he is not pained over. Since he is not pained over, he is not tormented over. Since he is not tormented over, he is not grieved over. Those who do not feel grief have no agony. Those who are free from agony do not run around and do not run here and there. Those who do not run here and there. Those who do not run here and there are not lost. Those who are not lost do not wander around. Those who do not wander around know no wandering. Those who know no wandering are free from wandering. Those who are free from wandering have no thoughts. Those who have no thoughts are conscientious. Those who are conscientious are noble beings. Those who are noble beings are worthy ones. Those who are worthy ones are free from the stain of ego, the stain of being, the stain of life force, the stain of person, the stain of the aggregates, the stain of the elements, the stain of the sense sources, the stain of existing entities, the stain of causes, the stain of conditions, the stain of objectification, and the stain of origin. Such beings are also free from the stain of self-importance due to pride, the stain of feeling, the stain of desire, the stain of anger, the stain of delusion, the stain of wrath, the stain of ill will, the stain of pride, the stain of arrogance, the stain of thinking, and the stain of agony. They have no stains of pride and arrogance. They have no stains of hell beings, animals, and pretas. They have no stains of the realm of the Lord of Death. They have no stains of the desire realm, the form realm, and the formless realm. They have no stains of samsara. In this way, no stains can be observed. Those who are free from desire and without stains are known as noble ones, worthy ones, liberated ones, and foremost among gods. Those who always rest in equanimity and Buddhas. Such beings have no thoughts regarding any phenomenon, and being without thoughts, they are beyond affliction. Being free from affliction, they feel no torment. Being without torment, they remain natural. Being natural, they do not engage with any phenomena. Now, if they do not engage with phenomena in this way, is form then awakened into Buddhahood? Or is it rather that feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness are awakened into Buddhahood? Who is awakened into perfect Buddhahood? Is it the five aggregates that teach the Dharma? The five aggregates are not authentic. They are illusory, without substance, unreal, and immaterial, and they arise due to mistaken mental activity. The realm of phenomena, on the other hand, is not without substance, not unreal, not inauthentic, and it does not arise due to mistaken mental activity. It is not illusory. It is not like an optical illusion. It is not like the moon's reflection in water. It is not like an echo. Therefore, someone does teach this Dharma. And why? Bhajapala, the realm of phenomena, is pure, genuine, and not erroneous. It is unmistaken, suchness. If that is suchness, then who is the teacher? The five aggregates are impermanent, painful, empty, without self, dependently arisen, trifling, and fleeting. Awakening is genuine, without mental constructs, ungraspable, inexpressible, invisible, imperceptible, without characteristics, limitless, sky-like, without equal, incomparable and without mentation, conceptual mind, and consciousness. It is beyond all sounds and words. It does not dwell in any place or direction. It cannot be analyzed or shown. It is peace and yet free from peace. It is cool, without basis, without abode, uncompounded, unborn, unceasing, non-dual, and none other than suchness. It is unchanging, suchness that does not come, and suchness that does not go. It is the sameness beyond samsara and nirvana. Vajrapala, suchness, is not polluted. It is not purified. It is not pure. Suchness is neither samsara nor nirvana. Suchness is not born, nor does it cease. Suchness is not the lowest or mediocre or supreme. So-called suchness is the realm of phenomena. The realm of phenomena does not exist as an essence related to either self or phenomena. It does not abide as an essence of phenomena. It does not abide as any phenomena. It is emptiness. It abides as emptiness. It abides as ultimate emptiness. It abides as great emptiness. It abides as supreme emptiness. It is of the firm basis. It is the realm of phenomena. The realm of phenomena is immutable, non-abiding, without abode, without essence, without movement, without acceptance, without rejection, without claiming, and without grasping. To know this Dharma without having thoughts regarding that knowledge is to know the realm of phenomena. The realm of phenomena is the Buddha, and the Buddha is the limit of reality, which is stainless, peaceful, and cool. It is unborn and unceasing. The aggregates entail mental proliferation, and the bodhisattvas should therefore consider them by thinking, how can I awaken these 5 aggregates that cause mental proliferation into perfect Buddhahood? Is it form that is awakened into Buddhahood? Or is it perhaps feeling, perception, formation, or consciousness that is awakened into perfect Buddhahood? Form is inanimate, unmoving, and without thought, just like grass, a wall, a piece of wood, or a mirage. It is not form that is awakened into perfect Buddhahood. Feeling is like a water bubble. It is trifling, and it arises based on sense contact. That is also not awakened into perfect Buddhahood. Perception is like an optical illusion. It arises when the eyes, form, light, and mental activity come together. That is also not awakened into perfect Buddhahood. Formations are immaterial. They are false and deceptive phenomena that arise based on ignorance. They are also not awakened into perfect Buddhahood. Consciousness is illusory, hollow, inauthentic, and not genuine. It definitively arises based on coming together with formations. It is produced based on coming together with incorrect attention, and that is not awakening into perfect Buddhahood. Vajrapala, the Bodhisattva, should then continue thinking.